So now we're with Richard Deacon. He's a sales director at Masthaven and spoke earlier on in one of the seminars. So thanks very much for joining us today, Richard. With regards to bridging finance, it's often seen as a choice for those who need funds quickly. So what's more important when it comes to bridging? Do you think it's the speed, do you think it's the rates or the service?
I think you've started to answer the question yourself. People need bridging finance, they don't want it. So we're very much of the opinion that it's all about the speed. People need bridging finance to transact something that can't be done via the high street banks and building societies. So to get a transaction to complete quickly, as in little time as 2 or 3 days or maybe even a week, speed is of the essence. Rate is less important because there's only going to be one quick way of doing it, and that's via a bridging lender, but speed is the number one key element. Therefore, service is important too, because if the speed is going to be the number one important factor, the service has got to follow up. There's no point in going to a bridging lender who can't deliver on the service. That leaves the third one to be rate by definition. Some guys would say, well, rate is the most important thing because you need the loan to be done quickly. However, my view is that if the loan needs to be completed by next Friday to complete on a purchase, let's say today, for example, it's Wednesday, I need to complete that bridging loan by Friday. It can be the cheapest bridging loan in the world, but if it's not going to complete by next Friday, the loan won't, the house purchase won't go through. So speed is of the essence, in my opinion.
What's been driving the growth in the secured loan market this year?
I think there's been three things that drives growth in secured loan. One is the availability. There's been many more lenders in the marketplace in the last 18 months, and by definition, when there's more lenders, there's more choice. So there's more choice for the broker, there's more choice for the consumer. The diversity of those lenders as well is something that I think is key, because you'll get some who'll lend on the buy-to-let side of things on secured loans. There's some who'll do residential second charges that are consumer credit regulated, so for personal use or for business purposes. There's some who'll look at adverse, there's some who'll look at just the cheaper, the clean stuff at low loan-to-values. So it's a real increase in lender availability that I think has driven the secured loan market. The flexibility of the lenders as well, I think, is something that, certainly talking from a Masthaven point of view, has been key to changing things in the secured loan market. Whether that's lending to people who can't prove income, whether it's taken into account adverse credit, whether it's taken into account affordability calculators. Every lender needs to do something a little bit different to gain their market share. It's not all about the pricing.
Now, a recent survey showed that almost 3/4 of brokers expected bridging volumes to rise this year. So what do you think it is about this type of lending that is prompting all this interest?
I think a lot of it is our friends here at Property Reporter and Financial Reporter. It's the media's interest. Brokers now do an awful lot of their transactions online. Long gone are the face-to-face meetings like we're having here. A lot of it is online. So by definition, those guys will have a look into bridging finance. What is bridging finance? What does it mean? Who does it? How expensive is it? How does it work? And ourselves and the rest of the bridging finance market are online. There's an online presence there. 3/4 is a high number, and I sort of did question it myself, but then you've got brokers who are looking for something different. So if the high street say, I'm sorry, I can't help you with your mortgage, what does that broker do? Does he sort of go, I'm sorry, I can't help you? Or does he look at other avenues to explore? Other avenues to explore are secured loans and bridging finance. And I think over the years since the credit crunch of 07, 08, people have either gone out of the industry altogether, or they're exploring other avenues such as bridging finance to help them where beforehand they said, no, I can't help you, to their clients. And I think a lot of shows like this, the FSE shows, but also the business that Masthaven doing, plus other lenders that get out more to the brokers. It's the whole educational side of it, which I'm very strong on. Educating brokers, as in, this is how bridging finance can help you with your client if the banks say no. And I think it's just one of those things. It's a natural progression almost.
And now you as a company have started to accept the automatic valuation models as part of this range overhaul. So do you think making the application process easier will encourage brokers to consider this type of lending?
I think anything which makes brokers' lives easier will help. The AVMs is something that we thought long and hard about. It makes perfect sense to do so. It also makes perfect sense to have a very simple online application because, as I said before, most people transact business online. I think it makes sense to have a helpline. I think it makes sense to have sales guys up and down the country to help out with any inquiries that the brokers get that they're not sure about. It's the human touch that works. It's the face-to-face that works. We constantly research our products and look over the products and our service as well to say, if we were a broker with a client, how can we make your life easier? Because inherently I think we're all lazy and everyone wants an easy life. So if you said to me, "Oh, Rich, what would make my life easier if you were to do AVMs?" Well, let's have a look into it and let's do that, which is what we've done here.
Now, you're no newcomer to the FSE. You've been to London, Manchester. How beneficial have you found this one in Glasgow?
We lend all over the UK, so we lend in England, Scotland and Wales. For us, it was the classic no-brainer situation. Why wouldn't you attend an exhibition in Scotland for mortgage brokers who might be interested in secured loans or bridging finance? The guys here do such a good job in organising it. Such a central location. This is a really good location. You know, things like this, the interviewing, the seminars, the FCA being here as well. It just makes the whole show. You pick it up from London, you put it in Manchester. To pick it up from Manchester, you put it in Scotland. It's just, why wouldn't you be here?
Well, thank you for talking to us, and we'll look forward to seeing you later on in the year.